barbell, by comparison to any previously existing tool, is almost a miracle.
Hey, it would be cool if you wouldn't be on your phone when we were starting the podcast.
The Portcast?
The Portly Cast.
I like that.
That's what we should have named
Portcast?
it. That's what we should have named it.
We should have called it the Farm Report.
What? What?
The Farm Report, baby.
I know. I like it. It made me laugh.
Sides of beef, baby.
Two sides of beef. You looking to...
I guess what I'm asking you is, how much would it cost me?
For a side of beef?
You know what I'm asking.
Oh.
To get to the top of Thunder Mountain over there.
I don't know, dude. I'm married. It would just be... It's not for sale, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Everything's for sale.
Unfortunately not.
Well, you haven't seen me put the moves on.
No, I have actually.
Bit of a salesman.
I have, and it's tough to watch. Yeah.
Well, I've never directed it at you.
Yeah, you want to rub my belly?
You've always seen me put the moves on somebody else, not on you.
Yeah, I have seen you put the moves on me.
Sir.
It involves you tackling me.
Sir, those aren't the moves.
And...
Those aren't the moves. I'm beating you into submission, so when I do put the moves on you, you'll be a fly into my trap. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's going to work because I'm not into dudes.
Well, first of all, how many times do I have to tell you? Let's not take all the romance out of it.
I get it, but I'm just saying.
I'm not talking about taking you from your wife.
No, I know that's...
I'm trying to cement that you and I are a package deal.
Right.
Heterosexually.
Right.
I'm not trying to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we should have really quickly. This place, did you know this place over here is for sale?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think whatever was going up next to us is...
Let's buy it.
Yeah, I kind of wonder what it is.
We'll just do bonfires and stuff there.
We can't afford to put anything there, any structure.
Fire pit.
It's just a big burn pit.
Yeah, a Walmart fire pit.
Burning tires and styrofoam. All kinds of stuff. Just burning our trash over there.
Oh, that'd be sick.
But yeah, I guess whatever was going up fell through.
That sucks.
And it's going for sale.
I was kind of pumped for that to be a thing.
What do you think it was? I think it was just going to be storage units.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's,
anything to drive traffic to this side of town.
Yeah, traffic is traffic, though.
But if it's going for sale now and they've done a bunch of dirt work and crap, it can be anything. You know what I mean?
It could be. It's probably way more now.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
because they tore down that house. I don't know if the owners did that or if the city made them do it or whoever did that.
You know what, though? There is a scenario where the guy was like, I just need to get rid of it. Because, he's just trying to turn it.
Mm-hmm. That'd be crazy.
Because, he tried to turn it into something and then it fell through. So he's like, I just got to get rid of it now. We should look at it.
Yeah.
And see what it is. It's probably down to like $750K from a mill,
Well, it was $500,000 at one point when it had no dirt work or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see any concrete yet. I think it was just all gravel, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. But they moved a ton of dirt because that was a huge hill. It was just not huge, but it slow and steady up like 150 yards or so, and now it's usable.
Yeah, it's probably it's probably gonna be. Oh wow.
Did you find it?
No, not yet. But just the first one on there was 1.5 million.
That's chump change, baby.
Watch it be freaking. Oh, that's kind of a dope spot. It's only 1.3 million, dude, for 3,300 square feet. Downtown on 8th Street.
1.3 for how many square feet?
3,300.
Yikes. It'd have to be a dope 3,300.
That one's a little better. 1.4 mil for 9,000 square feet. Dude, the market is great right now.
Somebody was telling me that the CEO of Walmart was talking about prices fluctuating again, and he thinks that we'll actually see deflation pretty soon, which would be crazy. Just more discretionary income in people's banks.
Right.
So if you find yourself with a little extra coin this start of 2024, remember your local powerlifting gym and their very reasonable rates. Personal training, online coaching, life coaching.
What?
I've been known to do a seance or two. If you
Oh,
need,
wow, really?
well, just get evil spirits out of new homes.
Out of new homes. Yeah, you're not sure what happened in there.
Yeah.
Dude, this one right here, this Bank of America is going out, and it's on Cherry Street.
You know what gets me? That people don't believe in like evil spirits and stuff. It's like, have you ever used the bathroom after your old man? You know what kind of evil's in that bathroom, and you're going to say there's not evil everywhere?
Yeah, I mean that'll change the entire feeling of a house. You know?
Oh, for sure, dude. If you're going to tell me that you've never used the bathroom after a 50-year-old man who's had I don't know how many cartons of Marlboro Reds, and he's made it through, the 70s,
Yeah.
and you don't believe there's evil in this world?
We were talking about last night. When we were eating Thanksgiving, and my the turkey that my sisters cooked came out dry, and
Bummer.
it's just there's not much you can do, right? It's like
You do a full turkey?
we did 2,
Nice.
and the one my wife cooked was hickory smoked, and it was some of the best turkey I think I've ever had. We were talking about how my grandma. Well, so the turkey was dry, and they were talking about how like we realized like we never do gravy. Like I don't ever remember really having gravy for the last like 5 years.
I'm sorry. I messed it up.
and we haven't had gravy for a long time. And they were like, "Oh yeah, like we." And I realized like why I had like this bad relationship with gravy for the turkey, and it was because my grandma was the one that used to bring it. And by the time that I could really remember the gravy, the cooking, she was old enough where the cooking had started to go downhill a little bit. And she started smoking again. They're like over the last like 2 or 3 years. Mm-hmm. And like the gravy that she would bring was like, it was cold. Mm-hmm. And then like, it was like gray. It was like a gray color.
Nice.
So we didn't have brown or white gravy. It was just like a grayish
In
color.
between.
Yeah. And I started cracking jokes about like, it having like a little bit of ash in there, that's why it's gray. And then they were like, what was the flavor like? And I think it was like, I said
menthol?
that, yeah. I was like, I think it was either like Marlboro Shorts or like menthol lights or something.
American Spirits? I
Yeah,
think?
yeah, American Spirits.
That's hilarious.
That's going to be so loud in the podcast.
That's all right, dude.
We own a gym. That's what that background noise is.
They really like when you put music on there that's not royalty free. They really like when you're. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Nice, J-Bo.
Oh, you know what it is? People turn YouTube down
Oh,
because
gotcha.
they don't know how to adjust the knobs.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I have a bad relationship with gravy too, but it's because it's also a story from my grandma. She used to beat me with the spoon that she used.
Oh, okay. Well, that's wow. That took a dark turn.
Your grandma did that too, right?
Yeah, but not with a spoon.
Oh,
She smacked me with a phone book once. Over the back of the head.
really?
Yeah,
How hard?
pretty hard. I'd say like for her it was an 8.
Swinging for the fences?
Yeah, for
What'd
her.
you do?
Nothing really. She just was like mad that I was like joking around.
Oh,
I had a great relationship with my grandma, so
really?
no.
Okay. I actually did have a good relationship. She didn't ever beat me
Raise a
with
hand
spoon.
to you?
No, she used to make me pick out a switch out in the yard, though.
Really?
Yeah,
No, yeah, I didn't have. There was none of that. She didn't give me the chance. It was just like
yeah. I picked the smallest one too.
I probably would have rather the physical abuse instead of the verbal. You know,
Yeah,
it would have been way better
Yeah,
because I could handle the beating. You know, because I'm thick. I was
yeah.
always-
That's what they never understood with me. You almost messed up there, brother. How about watch that happen? Your eyes got so big. Oh no. Yeah. No, my grandma was a super sweet lady, but
I liked your grandma. She was really nice.
what's that supposed to mean?
What?
What's that supposed to mean?
Why? I mean, I lived in her house after her. You know, like we
Hey,
had a,
hey,
hey, what? I did.
Hey, let's be respectful.
I am.
Don't
your
talk
grandma
about
was
living with my grandma.
I didn't live with your grandma at the same time. I lived in her house after she was out of it.
All right. Well,
She's a beautiful woman. And she was always nice to me. I only met her twice because you wouldn't let me be around her.
yeah, I would never introduce you to her.
I helped you move stuff at their house a couple of times. You probably don't even remember that.
Nah, it's all blur. You know how many things I've moved? I wish, like, I'm hoping, like, there's a bunch of, like, stuff just tailored to me in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know all my stats. How many pounds have I moved in my life? How many pounds of couches have I moved in my life? How many miles have I carried things?
Have you ever thought about that? We'll probably still have to move stuff in heaven. Like, I think we probably still will. You know, because it's like,
Yeah.
it won't be. It's not really a negative thing, right? Like it's like we'll probably be pumped about it, but
Yeah,
it's like, hey,
5-foot wide doors
yeah,
and
yeah.
12-foot ceilings.
yeah. We'll probably still have to move stuff even then, and it'll be like I'll probably still have a truck.
Yeah.
And
What's the worst item to move? Because I think I have an answer, and it's not even heavy. Like, it's worst item / everybody has them. For me, I'm going chairs.
yeah,
Chairs suck.
just because the trips, like so many trips.
The trips, but also, like, not a great place to grab them usually. And they're not heavy, but they're not light.
Yeah,
And I barely fit through a door when I'm not carrying anything.
yeah.
I think for me, it's like this recliner I'm sitting in would be harder for me to move than that huge couch.
Yeah, it is because, you know, this is big man problem, right? This is big man problem of the day.
Let's do it.
We just dived into that. I don't know what number we're gonna call it, but
I gotta look at the bro code.
yeah, I gotta look at the. But I mean, I don't know. Like, there are some items. What I was gonna say about the chair thing is it's weird because other people will think that it's a 2-person item,
Yes, exactly.
and it makes it worse.
Yeah.
And so I would rather take that recliner and move it myself than have somebody help me move it, because
Agreed.
it makes it more difficult.
It makes it even more awkward.
Yeah, and so I worked for a cute little moving company for a while. Pretty much, that's all I did was just move stuff, and horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
I've heard horror stories.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with like washer dryers and refrigerators.
See, I would have gone with those, but maybe it's just the mental, like getting my mind right where I know what I'm in for with a washer dryer. Also, like, we don't always have. I have one now, but a dolly makes that a world.
Yeah,
of difference.
the reason I think it might be refrigerators for me is because of the living nightmare that it turns into in terms of, it's not even the size. It's that you have to take it apart.
Yeah, it's the size of the door.
Yeah, you have to take it apart.
I have run into that quite a few times.
And it's the worst thing ever, because then, you know, in the scenario where you're the one that has to put it back together,
Yeah.
it's like there's 98 screws,
Yeah.
and we're trying to keep them all together.
Right.
And like then we'd have to, and the worst part was, and this happened, was that we took it apart and it still wouldn't fit.
Right.
And I was like, how the flip did the other people get it into the house?
Oh, it was already in there.
It was already in there, and then we took it apart and it still wouldn't fit.
They remodeled after they put it in there.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
And I was like, why would you guys do, like, so then what we ended up having to do, no joke, like, what we ended up having to do was, we had to put it through a window.
Oh, wow.
Because they had like this window that was a huge, like, double size, but it was all like one thing. So we had to I had to go around the back of the house, and we had to like lift it up and put it flat ways, like through it was.
I can't remember if this is your story or a coworker of mine, because he worked there before you did, I think, but he tells stories of literally having to take like the trim off the doors.
Oh yeah.
Of the home.
Oh yeah.
Like to fit them in there, because you can't just leave it on the front porch or whatever.
You know what the best part is of that? It's that was such a nightmare working there, dude. And so we were moving a washer dryer set out of a
treehouse.
Pretty much, but
You getting choked up about it?
no, I got acid reflux so
they can't
bad.
hurt you anymore. You're safe now. Shh, 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 shh.
So this hour long pickup turned into like 4.
Nice.
And the guy that I was with, not the brightest crayon in the box, okay, just shreds the linoleum in their laundry room on the floor,
Sure. As one does.
because he kept trying to pull it without the leg things on it, and so
Right.
there's like a screw sticking out still, and he just it was completely shredded, and they were pissed, of course.
Yeah.
And so then it took us like another 2 hours to figure out how to get it out of the house. I'm like drenched in sweat. Smells in their house horrible for various reasons. And we get back, and then there's nothing like being like, before we got back, they had already called.
Yeah.
And then our boss just reams us. And I'm not that guy that's going to be like, hey, you know,
It was Dudley.
it was Daryl. Like, I'm not going to be that. Yeah, I'm not going to be that guy.
You're not throwing the homie under the bus.
No, because he was a cool dude. Like, it was because I also was frustrating because I told him, like,
Yeah.
let's not do that, you know.
Yeah.
And then he did it anyway because he was pissed off at the whole situation.
Sure.
And so then, like, he was trying to get out of there, and then and then we get reamed for it when we get back.
Right.
And I was like, I can't do this.
Right.
Like,
This is starting my job hunt.
yeah, and like the whole reason that this is like a big man problem is because like I only got the job pretty much in the first place like so quickly was because of my size. It was like
Also hard to keep cats in that job, I'm thinking.
for sure. And then it's like when we're reorganizing like the inventory room and I'm the only guy that can like reorganize like washers and dryers by myself, you know, because I'll just
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm talking about? You
Yeah.
can do that like hook them in the front and then like just pick
Well, you
them
have
up.
a 6'7" wingspan too.
And so it was like that, you know, it's so, and I always get roped into that all the time. I mean, that's been my entire life.
So let's spell out what I like about our problems is we like to spell out actionable things
Yeah.
to make this better.
Mm-hmm.
If you're hearing this and you have big men in your life that you may need to help you move from time to time, here's a few things just off the top of my head. I haven't like lost sleep over this, you know, several times or anything. A few things you can do to make their life easier. If there's an item that you yourself can carry,
Dude, preach.
you should.
Preach.
If there are stairs, you should try to. I mean, barring any sort of like physical ailment, if you can't like climb the steps, this is not for you.
Sure.
This is for the able-bodied person.
Sure.
Have the boxes packed.
Yes.
I'm not here to pack boxes.
Yes.
Pack all the boxes. Even if you want to make a pile in the garage and I'll put them on the truck, fine. But decrease the amount of steps I need to take.
Yeah, because
Clear all walkways.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to step over Junior's big wheel, trike. You know what I mean? While I'm doing my thing.
right.
And have a plan.
Well, because I don't, you know, like I just got done talking about like the nightmare of moving the big items, but I want to be there for a very specific reason.
Yeah.
It's like it's like all this big stuff that you couldn't move. It's like, okay, we'll figure it out now.
Right.
Right. I don't want to take 6,000 trips. Like,
Yeah.
for all these like 3-pound boxes that you guys could have moved.
And by the way, you do this for a living. We have definitely moved more people for free than we have for money.
Absolutely.
And I'm fine with that.
Right.
I would rather do this for free as a favor.
Yeah, because it's definitely better, especially when you're like helping the homies. And I've also helped people, like don't have their own vehicle,
Right.
don't have like the means, like it's just them by themselves,
Right.
and like somebody else in their house is disabled or something.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm down for that all day.
And maybe it's the age I am in life now, but like I don't give loans either. Like if you ask me for money, I'm giving it to
Yeah,
you.
100%.
If you're asking me for help, I'm
Yeah.
not like tallying up a receipt for you or
No,
anything.
yeah,
But here's something I've wondered, Nate. I want your opinion on this. I'm not that guy. So if I call you to help me move something,
yeah,
it may be the first thing on the truck, but as soon as it's out, high fives, hand pounds, smack on the butt, you go have a good day. I'm going to
Yeah.
do the rest myself.
right,
But I have had those people that are like having me take hangers on, like clothes on hangers and like
Right.
armfuls and crap. And it's
Yeah.
like, I think you're that way too, where it's
Yeah.
like, I need help with this like 1,000-pound gun safe.
Yeah.
I don't need help with anything else.
right.
Are we that way because we've been abused through,
Yeah.
through this process?
Probably.
Or are we just those dudes to start with?
I don't know. I just like. I think part of it is that it's context, right?
Yeah.
Because I have had people who are like
I just got a warm feeling, sorry.
able-bodied.
Yeah.
If you're able-bodied and you also have like your, because there's scenarios, right? Like even that depends. Like if you both are able-bodied, but you have 3 like kids under 4.
Yeah.
And like you're trying to figure it out, like
Right.
you don't have family there that can watch the kids, and it's
Right.
like the wife has to watch the kids.
Or you're able-bodied, but you have 24 hours to get out of here.
Yeah, there's all kinds of scenarios where I don't even care. It's like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
But I've had scenarios multiple times where I've gone to their houses or their apartments, and it looks like they're still living there.
Yeah.
It looks like nothing has changed in the house. It looks
Right.
like they're still just in the middle of the week living life.
Yeah.
And then I'm like packing other people's underwear. And then I'm
Well, I
packing
don't
other
mind
people's
that,
dishes. Well, that's because you're a friggin' weirdo.
I just know what I like.
And it's like, it's a nightmare, dude. And I'm not there to pack plates. Like that's why I'm like I would even just in that scenario every time I'm like, how could we have made this better?
Yeah.
All this could have been, I would have moved a ton of boxes, but like I don't want to pack your stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
And the whole like don't pay me thing is a little bit because I want to do a favor, but it's also a little selfish because I've been in that position, not as much with moving, but I've been in that position where like an old guy's paying me.
Mm-hmm.
And like if we need to slow down, like somebody went to get
Yeah.
an item that we need, it's like, well, I'm paying him, so go polish this silverware while we're waiting.
Right.
Like I'm paying you, I'm getting my money's worth sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'm not there for that.
No, I mean,
Now I'll polish that silverware for free
for sure.
because you'll be appreciative.
Right.
But I'm not. You know what I mean?
No,
I'm
yeah,
not,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
I've
just
also
here.
I've also had a truck in some form most of the time. Sometimes I haven't. But in my life,
Yeah, if they'd make cars bigger, us big men wouldn't be in this position. If
Yeah.
I didn't have to have a large vehicle to fit in it,
yeah.
oh, by the way, I can haul stuff with this.
Yeah, because it's still gotten me in trouble. Like, because I've
Yeah.
had, like, even when I had the Borrego,
Yeah.
it was still like, oh, Nate's got a big SUV. We can, like, we
Yeah.
can also put down the seats in the back, and then we
Yeah.
can pack a ton of crap in there. And it's like, and like I said, it sounds like I'm being whatever, but I don't, if I can tell that somebody really needs it
Sure.
for whatever reason, like, because I've even helped people where they're like, just in a bad place mentally.
Sure.
You know, and they're like, dude, I'm just really struggling. And or even like, you know, whatever the scenario is, I'm like, all this goes out the window and it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's just nonstop. I seriously think that you and I, because we also know a lot of the same people.
Mm-hmm.
And so you and I have gotten roped into that together. Mm-hmm. I don't even know how many times, dozens.
But the people I help the most at this point are the people that don't need to listen to this podcast because they already get it.
Yeah, for sure.
I've moved pianos for, like, there's a lady at my church that if she called me right now, she's the sweetest lady I've ever met in my whole life. If she called me right now and she's like, hey, I need to bury a body,
Oh, dude,
I'm already in the truck.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or whatever version of
She's
I need to
made
bury.
you enough brownies and cookies where, in the past, where you're like,
Yeah, she hit me up recently. I say recently. This has probably been like 3 years ago, and I think I had Ben help me because it was in Moberly, but
Yeah.
Needed to move a piano.
mm-hmm.
Just that's probably the item that's the hardest to move, if I had to guess. But not everybody has them.
Right.
But there are kind of like handholds, so it's not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'd move 100 pianos for her because when I got there, everything was cleared out. There was like a trailer backed up to the porch.
Mm-hmm.
It took me and Ben maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah, see, that's just like, that's a golden scenario right
Yeah,
there.
all day.
Yeah, all day.
All
Yeah.
day. And it was such a short deal where it's like not weird when she doesn't offer me like some pizza or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's also probably something you should do. Paying me, not paying me, paying your friend, not paying your friend, whatever. Have a couple morsels of food there, just in case.
Yeah, the house.
A water would be cool.
Yeah.
Bottle of water. I
Yeah.
mean, we're talking like to keep us happy, you have to pay us nothing.
Yeah.
So to keep us really happy, drop $5 at Casey's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thrilled.
Oh, amazing. I think too, like some of the worst, like some of the nightmare stories too with that is like it's all more it's less around the item and it's more around the house,
Yeah.
or wherever it's at, because in Moberly, one of them was like, I think you know what I'm talking about, but it's like down past, like it's near like Lions Park. There's a small house that had like multiple apartments in it, and like old school like winding staircase,
Yeah.
and like that had like the like handmade like iron railings.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking
sick
about?
house.
Yeah, pretty cool.
But like a mover's nightmare.
Yeah, the apartment was on the second floor.
Sure. Why did I say it like that?
Sure, that's because it.
Yerkin Durkin.
And
What
Yeah,
you
just-
moved down at? What was the hardest item? Just give me the hardest one.
oh, you want to know the hardest item?
I would like to know.
It was all the items.
Oh, right, because of the stairs.
It was no. I mean, they were getting rid of everything,
Cool.
and so we had washer, dryer, refrigerator,
The whole thing was a spiral.
the whole thing.
That's got to be the worst. Then I've
No,
never
it's
done
super
that.
old house, like super old style, and then it was everything. It was couch, like side tables, chairs, like ottomans, but washer, dryer, refrigerator, like the whole 9 yards,
Wow,
and it was a nightmare.
that's got to be that tops my worst story, guaranteed.
It was-
because David and I did a house one time. It was a lady that he knew of through church or something. She was coming from California. And I promise you, when we opened the U-Haul, it looked like the Looney Tune cartoons where they'd like open the closet and there'd be an avalanche. It looked just like to the point where her mattress, like, so when you open a U-Haul, you've got to take a few things before you can stand on the platform, right?
Right.
So we had to take a few things. Her mattress was just in the top of it, like 8 or 9 feet off the ground, where they had just shoved the last thing. Because that's also, like, this needs to be on the list too. Let somebody who knows how to pack a truck pack the truck.
Yeah.
There is a right and a wrong way to do it, and most of you are doing it wrong. I'm sorry, but I have experience.
Sure. Yeah, it's yeah.
But I think that's what I mean too with like have the plan. But anyway, we were moving her in, and she didn't have a spiral staircase, but the staircase did like the 90-degree thing at the top.
Right.
And it was luckily all open, so it wasn't like you're contending with walls. Also, you just had to raise it over the rails.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know what's worse. A spiral staircase, without a doubt, is the worst because it's also like you can go down a regular flight of stairs backwards and not have to look for your footing.
Yeah.
But a spiral staircase is like, I haven't trained my body enough to know where the next step is.
Well, and also
might as well be a ladder.
It was the perfect storm too, because the guy that I was working with that day.
So this is for work. This is
for work.
Oh, this is even worse. I'm sorry.
And so like the guy I was working with that day was also like not what you'd call like a strapping young lad.
Sure.
And so just struggle bus like.
He was off season. He was in his
off season, and I'm not making fun of him, but I really I had multiple times where I was like, I really wish Zach was here, because he's like our first item, like halfway down the stairs, he's like shaking, you know, and I was like, dude, and like I had
can I add a little bit of context here?
Yeah,
I'm gonna guess from experience, because you were the strapping young lad in all these scenarios.
I was also like,
you were
pretty
always
sloppy then. I didn't have as much muscle.
Yeah, dude, but you've always been dumb strong. Like the weakest you've ever been in the weight room since we've been training. In real world strength,
moving stuff was
in real world strength, you might as well have been Incredible Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
But because you're the big guy and you know how to move, I'd almost guarantee you were always the one going backwards down the stairs
every time.
Which people don't get. People don't understand that. People don't understand that. So the guy that's walking down, like, going down forwards is not always all it's cracked up to be either.
Right.
But the guy lower usually is carrying the brunt of the weight, and he's the one that doesn't get the same kind of breaks.
Yeah.
Like, as you're going down one step at a time, the guy on the top is able to set it down every step, essentially.
Right.
And you're just like, yeah, take your time.
We're good. And it was just, dude, it was like, because even that, like, it was even for me like crazy challenge. Where
See what I did there?
Yeah.
I coughed so you couldn't hear the mic move.
It's like trying to cover a fart.
That's a little bit of Hollywood for you guys at home.
Wow, yeah, just movie magic.
Sound effects.
And like, because even my forearms were smoked the next day. Like, I remember how sore my forearms were from having stuff at just the tip of my fingers.
I think forearms and traps are really going to take a beating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's just no way around it. Your back's going to feel whatever.
Yeah. Can I tell you one that was like super gross?
Please. Why are you asking? You know I love gross.
One of that we went into like go pick up like a TV and something else.
And this is at work also?
Yeah. We went to go pick up this TV, and just from the second the door opens, it's like hitting a wall.
Cat urine.
Yeah, cat and dog.
Oh man.
It was hitting a wall. And it was so strong, dude. It was like past smelling like urine, and it just was like ammonia.
That's so
where
hard.
Like I was trying to breathe through my mouth, but it was like burning my throat. And I was like, so the entryway was like hard floor, and then the rest of the house was carpet. And they were like, oh, it's back here, you know. Come. And so I start walking through, and like just immediately like squishing it, like the carpet was wet. It, like, so the second I started walking in, it was like it was like if your house had flooded.
Oh, my word.
And it was all urine.
You're sure?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And so like not every part of the house was like that, but there was poop on the floor everywhere where that was going on too. And so I'm like, dude, we have to get out of here immediately.
Yeah.
Like, and we go to like the back of the house to get the TV, And the husband, I'm guessing, was like laying on the bed. He was in the bed laying there still. And he didn't even move for us coming to get it, right? And the dog's like, there was a ton of cats. And it was all like chihuahuas. There was like tons of little chihuahuas running around. And just all barking and yiping and like growling because they're just terrible dogs. And we go to like grab the TV, and then he's laying on the bed, okay? No shoes or socks on.
Love it. He's in his castle.
Yeah, he's in his castle, dude. He's in his castle just living his dream, you know? Dude, this is so gross. I don't even know if I should say it on the podcast.
Say it.
Like rotting foot. He has a rotting foot. Like open wounds, rotting foot. And one of the dogs was like licking or like chewing on his foot, like messing with his foot.
Oh my word.
On the bed. And I've told you this before.
No.
And
I would pretty sure I'd remember that.
Yeah. And I was like, so I looked at my buddy that worked with me, and I was like, just unplug the TV and let's get at it, because like we're gonna get something. Like we're gonna get some sort of sickness or bacteria from being in here.
That's, I'm not a big germ guy.
Yeah.
Like I don't care about them. I don't think they're real.
Yeah.
But that's like, I'm not wearing my shoes into my home.
Yeah. So, it keeps going. So we grab the TV. And he was like, dude, we're gonna have to 2-man carry this. And I didn't even reply to him. I just unplugged the TV and carried it myself. It was like a 68-inch TV. It was huge.
Right.
I just grabbed it because like my adrenaline's going at this point.
Trying not to breathe.
And we get out of the house as fast as we can. And we get outside covered in fleas. I'm talking covered in fleas. So I start taking off my shoes. I took off my pants. And
outside. Yeah.
And it's like my work uniform or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And I take off my pants. He took off his pants. We're covered in fleas. I have them all over my legs. Mm-hmm. And so we took all that off, and then we started grabbing bottles of water that we had in the truck and like wash them because they're biting us.
Dousing.
Yeah. And so I started just like pouring it on my legs to get the fleas off. And we actually surprisingly got most of them because like I think we used like 15 bottles of water, just like dumping them all over and like took our socks off.
Would you take a change of clothes when you went to places like that?
No, I didn't have any. I just didn't know it was going to happen.
Right. I just didn't know because you're moving crap all the time. If that was even on your radar, not fleas. Nobody expects like live urine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
fresh urine on the carpet.
Dude, crazy. And so we call.
That's wild.
Yeah, I didn't even. I
feel
like
so bad for those people.
I know, what a crazy situation. And I had on like stretchy pants for like lifting because like when I worked there, I just wore them all the time.
Because of big man problem number 105, which is chafing, which is another episode.
And like I just wore those, and I threw away all my stuff.
Yeah,
I just threw it all away, and I tried to like wash off the outside of my shoes or whatever, but there's fleas all over them. I just threw everything away.
Yeah.
And because I didn't even want to take it back into our house, right?
Yeah.
And so like we called our boss and we were like, hey, told him the situation, and he was like, yeah, just go home and like get new clothes and stuff, and then like come back. He's like, don't get fleas in the truck. And I was like, okay. So bananas. Like I gotta be honest with you, I think if we went there and it was like, hey, we got like 15 things to move out of this house, I'd have been like, yeah, sorry, we're gonna have to do something different here. Because we were in there for like 10 minutes because I just started going into panic mode and grabbing stuff. You know?
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to come back with like those like a hazmat suit.
Imagine if they're renting that house.
Oh, that most likely they were.
How crazy is that?
Mid Missouri, dude. I feel like it's like 70% rentals. I mean, my hometown is like, but I don't know what. Oh, that was in Moberly.
That was in your hometown.
Oh yeah, 70% rentals. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
dude, that's gonna be a full gut for the guy that owns that. He's gonna have to gut that house.
It's funny you say that. This is not on that level, and it's kind of different because they were just having an appliance repoed or taken back or whatever it was. But I showed a house to a friend of mine because I did real estate for a while, and it was a sick house, dude. It was such a good location. It was in Columbia, so it was like, it's hard to find something in your price range that's in like on a nice street or whatever. It was like cul-de-sac. It was the whole nine. You were like like maybe a half a mile or less from a giant lake. Like, such a cool place. Skylights in this whole thing. They had done a built on where you have this like Four Seasons room. Is so sick on the computer.
Nice.
Could not have smelled stronger of animals.
Oh,
I mean,
gosh.
like, I mean, to the point where they've just peed wherever they want to.
Right.
It's like you're showing your house to sell.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, hey, I'm in a bad way medically, and somebody's coming to take my TV or whatever.
Right.
Like, I'm not.
No,
cleaning
for
up
sure,
for 'em.
do
It's
something.
Like, I'm putting my best foot forward here.
Yeah.
And it's cat urine.
Yeah.
To the point where it was like.
And it's cat urine.
To the point where it was like priced pretty reasonably.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to drop 50 or 60K just to replace all that needs to be replaced. Like, hopefully, after you replace carpets, that's going to be the biggest one.
That like the floor underneath's not jacked up.
Oh, it certainly would have been.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping like enough, like primer and stuff will take it off the walls, because that soaks up everything.
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
That was really gross. You should not have said that on the podcast.
I told you. I wasn't. I told you that.
You should say it.
Yes, you did.
We'll have to listen to it.
We'll have to listen back, but I'm pretty sure that you did.
I'm pretty sure I said like maybe we should put out a warning or something.
Yeah, look, dude.
Trigger
the
warning.
thing. Yeah, the things you've seen, the things that we've seen,
can't be unseen.
can't be unseen.
So, lane change. We talked to our friend J-Bo a second ago while we were taking a potty break. This has nothing to do with anything, but I've been thinking recently. I've always thought my nephew would be a good candidate to like go to the military.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a scary world, so I don't know if that's still the case, but just go learn a trade, go see the world. Because I kind of, if I'm being honest with you, I kind of wish I had done that when I was younger.
Yeah,
just because
for sure.
of like, also like there's a lot of negative that comes with it. There's PTSD, there's real stuff out there, but just seeing like financially how the people I work with every day are kind of set up, his boss, so he works with a veterinarian, is his boss.
Okay.
And she did like, I think she was active duty in the Navy, he said. When she got out, she signed with the Army Reserves.
Oh, wow.
She's in D.C. now, so she's activated for that. And I've kind of been checking in on him every once in a while because I think that's interesting. She's been activated several times. I think he just said she's a colonel.
Wow.
So probably pulling down six figures from both jobs.
So she's just doing regular things. She's not like an Army veterinarian.
She is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, isn't that nuts?
That's crazy. I didn't know they would need that position.
Oh, dude, they have like horses and crap in the military that they need like tended to, I think.
Wow.
Which is interesting. That's a whole other rabbit hole if we need that or not. But that's my whole case for him is like I want to spell out that like
I guess there's dogs. They got a lot of dogs for stuff.
Oh sure, yeah. I didn't even think
like
about
dogs and stuff.
Probably armadillos for all we know.
Yeah, that probably is.
Just strapping
armadillos with
tracking devices
strapped
and stuff
on their backs.
Yeah, but like there's a lot of jobs in the military that aren't like, like frontline soldiers out there. But while she's activated, I know this from working with them. She's making BAH and BAS, which is basic allowance of housing and basic allowance of sustenance. The sustenance will be like $300 a month for her, so it's not crazy.
Right.
But if she's in DC for any amount of time, it's not crazy for me to see like just enlisted people, so they're not making as much money, bringing down like $3,500 a month for housing, stuff like that. It's such a sick deal.
That's crazy.
So maybe this is like my short little commercial for it, but again, scary world or whatever. But
I would get the cruddiest little apartment.
Yes.
And pocket the rest.
What's crazy is like I think you can do that, but there are areas where you can't.
Right.
So that was a story I always tell about Todd. He was getting 10 years ago, whatever, something like $2,500 a month when he was in Spain.
Right.
Well, they didn't get to keep what they didn't spend.
That's dumb.
So he just found a $2,500 a month apartment.
Right.
And was 3 stories off the beach or whatever, which was sick. Don't get me wrong.
That's the way to go if you can't.
But if me and you were enlisted and we're pulling down $2,500 a month for housing, we're finding something that's $1,000.
Yeah.
We're splitting the rent, and we're pocketing the rest.
Yeah. That would be insane.
How crazy would that be?
That's insane. That'd be sick.
I know, dude. That's why, like, they talk about, our service members not making great money when they're like E1, E2, E3, whatever, which isn't totally wrong. They don't.
Right.
But they cover housing and sustenance. So it's like, yeah, dude, I only make like $2,200 a month. It's like that's kind of $2,200 a month discretionary.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, if they're covering I wonder if there's scenarios where they're not though.
Oh yeah, but when they're not, they're a lot of times living on base for free.
Right.
So that's probably not great housing, if I had to guess.
Right.
Probably a lot like a frat house. Not for everybody. But there comes a time and a place once you've worked your way up. I think once you're an E3, now if you're married, if you go in married, day one, I think they'll give you can live off base and whatnot.
Right.
But man, the amount of people, and I would not have the big picture view like when I was that age to do this.
Right.
But because of the way VA loans work and stuff like that, let's say you're going to be someplace 2 years, you could have, you do like a 6-year contract, you could have 3 rentals by the time you get out of there that you never paid a dime for, because there's no down payment with that, but also they pay you for housing. So technically it's like this is coming out of, the government's till there. But I never would have done that. I'd have had a $1,500 a month truck payment.
Yeah.
And I'd be Charlie Goodtime buying the bar every
Charlie Goodtime.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, dude.
I
don't.
putting on a clinic at the bar.
I would hope. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But for myself, I don't know what I would have done. But
at that age, I know what I would have done, because it would have been less, like in a weird way, it would have been a less. I don't know what to say. There'd been less policing of me than college was.
Right.
Like during the day when you're at work, yeah, they're under.
Right.
They're under.
Yeah.
It's pretty strict. Or can be.
Right.
But like when they're like, all right, you don't have to come back till Monday. I'm like, well, I'll just, get a hot air balloon this weekend. Like I'll do whatever I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Get a hot air balloon this weekend.
You
Gonna take the buddies out. You're gonna take the buddies out for a hot air balloon ride.
You want to go ballooning?
No, I don't want to go ballooning.
Well, that's rude.
I'm not a fan of heights, sir. Okay.
Well, but you're in that wicker basket.
Oh yeah, that's a real game changer.
You're telling me that just 10 to 20 centimeters of wicker between you and certain death isn't
doesn't really do
you?
it for me. No, doesn't really do it for me.
What if I let you drive?
Nope. No.
A little bit better.
I'll say this depends on how. If we're like 6 feet off the ground, I'd ride that bad boy.
How about if we hover from 6 feet to like 30 feet? 30 feet, you're breaking bones, but you got a shot. I'll keep you only over grass. We're not going over pavement.
No, I'd rather be over water at 30 feet.
Oh, for sure. But that actually freaks me out.
No, it's super. That's why that's even scary. I'm out. I'm out.
All right. Well, we'll figure something else out to do with our leave.
in this imaginary world where we have leave.
Yeah, we'll just go have a picnic in the park.
I think about sometimes too, how small that I would have had to have gotten, because I never
when I met you could have gone that day.
Yeah, I know,
when you
but
were at like 205 or something.
No, I mean I was never under 220.
Are you sure?
Yeah, the lightest. I remember the lightest I ever saw on the scale one time was I saw 220, but I was never, and I was only that for a while.
Todd got in. Granted, he's 6'5" or whatever, 6'6", but he was like 240 when he got in.
Yeah.
So I got to think because of the tape measurements and stuff like that.
I'm saying when I would have got out of there, it would end up being like 180.
Oh, probably.
You know what I mean? Like out of whatever, where they lose a bunch of weight.
Yeah, out of boot camp. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd have been sickly.
Yeah, that would have been nuts.
Your life would have been so different.
Yeah.
And maybe not for the better. I don't know.
Maybe for the better. Probably for the better.
It could have been.
Yeah, because you know why? You wouldn't
have met me.
How'd you know I was gonna say that?
You're really mean, and you're
no. Don't act like I'm the mean one. Like
I'm doing this just to keep up.
No,
the way you talk to me when these mics aren't rolling.
No,
is criminal.
That's not true at all.
What are you talking about?
That's not true. But I probably because I was a felt 240. Just living life, getting jacked. Don't do that.
They can't hear my eyes squint.
Yeah, don't give me the skeptical hippo eyes. Okay.
Well, I guess
I would have been a svelte. I would have been. I was on my way, dude. I was on my way. Okay. And
when I met
then you were like, "Hey, let me make you a diet plan, and we'll put on 40 pounds in like 5 months."
Let me ask you a few questions.
Or less.
Let me ask you a few questions.
Yeah.
This is my.
Because that's your fault, by the way.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, it's my fault. Let's remember it was my fault.
Yes.
Let's just go from there.
Okay.
My professional reputation is on the line. Couple questions.
Right.
Number one.
Yeah.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
Okay. So you enjoyed yourself.
But I don't know that.
Whoa. Number two. We've been careening towards this day ever since we met. Are you stronger now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's number two.
Yeah.
Number 3, you like what we got going on here?
Yeah.
And that was all my fault.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Like you jump forward in the future like 15 years, but I'm just saying, like at the time,
you're also painting a pretty good picture of where you were going, and just for our listeners at home, when I met you, you were skinny as a rail.
Okay, not skinny as a rail though.
Skinny as a giant rail.
Nope.
You were skinny as a 6x6 post.
Nope.
You could hide behind a stop sign.
That's not true either.
You wore nothing but sleeveless shirts and leather cuffs.
That is not true.
You look like
not true.
You looked like you were one summer away from starting Street Magic.
No. No.
You were about to start rocking bandanas with your bald head.
None of that is true.
Hold on. You were looking like the kid that really needed a Harley.
That wasn't all the time.
You had leather vests.
That wasn't all the time. It was necessary.
Leather vests, and you wore. You know what? It looked like you were the guy that would only wear boots.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I could see that.
You only wear boots,
but I didn't.
You learned close-up magic.
Mm-hmm.
You knew like 7 card tricks.
Close-up street magic. That's, dude. I didn't wear them all the time. It was only when it was necessary for that specific situation. Okay.
Yeah, like walking around.
No. I also wasn't sleeveless shirts all the time. I normally wore, and also you wore a lot of sleeveless shirts at that time too.
Well, I was working at the Y. I was trying to sell a product, baby.
So was I.
Well, you were cleaning stuff.
Yeah, but I was also selling a product, you know?
I know what you were selling.
I was on my way to be jacked, and you were like, let's eat 9,000 calories a day. And I was like, because I was getting ready to get married.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting ready to get married. And
now you have delts and traps.
Yeah. I'm just saying I probably would have got that anyway.
When I met you, it looked like you had a double deltectomy. It looked like, how did this man make it through life with no shoulder muscles?
Yeah,
how do you brush your teeth?
I was just starting my lifting time.
It looked like you had to have a crutch in the bathroom to rest your arm on to brush your teeth.
No, that's not true.
Dude, you had no delts.
I know, but all I'm saying is that I would have gotten delts anyway without gaining that much weight in that short of time.
We don't know.
That's true, we don't. I mean, we can't change the past, but if I could, I would.
All I know is I met a boy.
Yeah.
And I turned him into a man.
Okay. All right.
You didn't even have a beard then, Nate.
Yeah, I did.
You did not have a beard.
I did. But that wasn't all. What did I have? I don't even remember.
When I met you, you were a 5 o'clock shadow every day.
Yeah, dude, because it was a freaking dime piece. That's why.
You were pretty good looking.
Don't say were, though.
I think you're better looking now.
Don't say were.
I think you're better looking now.
Well, but I will say this.
Now that I did have you out properly.
No. You just couldn't stand. You just couldn't stand it. You were like, he's all of it. I was everything you wanted to be.
You know what it was?
Let me finish.
All right.
I was everything you wanted to be, and you're like, you know what I need to do? I need to turn him into a sloppy fat mess.
That was not.
No, hold on.
You got sloppy fat. That was not under my tutelage.
Yes, it was. When did I gain? How did I go from 240 to 280? That's all I want. I want you to answer that.
With my help.
Okay.
With my
Case
help.
closed. Case closed.
You got really strong though.
Yeah, I could have done that on less calories.
Look, dude, we didn't have the internet back then. Okay, all we used the internet.
The internet existed. You didn't care, and all you wanted to do was just use me as a guinea pig.
Did you have a good time? Did you have fun though?
I mean, it was okay. I mean, but it was more about other things than that.
What do you mean?
It was about other stuff. It wasn't about the diet.
Oh, so just knowing me made your life better?
I guess. I guess.
You guess?
I guess,
All right. Well, we'll talk about this off air.
Okay.
But I just think that it was a blessing that I found you. That I found you when I did.
No, I know you do. I know that you think that. Yeah. You've said that many times.
Look, dude. You should have gone to the military.
I don't know.
Teach you some discipline.
Okay.
Teach you a trade, for goodness sakes.
Yeah. One of my... Really, honestly, though, one of my favorite things about working there was
At the Y?
one of my favorite things about working there was the lunches.
I already knew you were going there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'd I think it was a grant. I'm not really sure, but with the child care at the Y, we'd pick up these it was something ridiculous, like 150 lunches every morning for their child care program. In the
It was just
summer.
during the summer, right?
Yeah, it was just for child care, and I think they made them at the public schools. That's why I think it was all grant related. Well, like most grants, like if you don't use it all, you'll lose it. So for these 150 lunches, we had 45 kids or something like that. So it was just common knowledge. It was like, this is where we keep them. Make sure the kids are fed, but go take as many as you want.
Right.
And we're talking Uncrustables. There's usually
Those freaking little chocolate milks.
I don't even
delicious.
know. Was there 2 sandwiches? I think it was like a ham sandwich, and sometimes an Uncrustable also.
Yeah.
And
And
then
they had
there'd be-
the sandwich cut in half.
Yeah, and there'd be carrots and peanut butter or something like that, and a cookie,
Yeah. It was.
and 4 ounces of chocolatey heaven.
Those little carton, they made this chocolate milk hit different back then,
It was frustrating though that right when I hit my stride, it was done.
Yeah, I know.
So I had to take 7 of them.
I was gonna say I would have a sack. I would have one sack between each finger.
Yeah.
Then just take 6 to 8 bags,
And
6
you'd
to
have
8
to-
little sack lunches.
You'd have to avoid eye contact with people. But
Yeah.
when you did, it's it's kids. Kids are in there.
Yeah, I gotta feed.
We'd
sit there and
feed the niños.
We'd sit there in your office and just eat them, and you would just giggle and laugh.
Simpler time,
Simpler time.
man. I have a lot of stories about that time.
Just dead quiet. It's just a moment of silence for those sack lunches, dude. They were a real game changer.
Yeah, dude, we were meal prepping before meal prep was meal prep.
Yeah, I mean, technically you could meal prep with Uncrustables,
Yeah, I mean it was prepared.
Yeah,
It was a meal.
I guess. The sack lunches were part of your meal plan, I guess, huh?
Don't act like this was on me. But also, the funny part that we're leaving out is this was usually after we had already gone to lunch. We'd go to El Vaquero, and I'd buy you 7 quesadillas, and then probably 4 gallons of sweet tea. And we'd get back and be just so full and miserable. And then we'd go lift, and then just go smash 8 sack lunches.
Yeah, dude, that was dope. I can't. It's crazy looking back. I can't believe how weak I was. I was looking back. I was thinking about because especially at the time, what's crazy about all this, right? Is the difference of. I don't even know how to start with what I'm trying to say here. The difference of I'm thinking about who I'm talking about, but these dudes that were benching 2 plates, and I'm putting up air quotes.
Yeah.
It's 2 plates, and they halfway. They're 6 inches from their chest.
Yeah.
And they're
Or on the Smith machine, and the spotter never stops touching.
right, and then you have these huge guys, huge in air quotes, at the Y doing all these weights, and it was at the time for me, right? I was pretty much in my first 2 years of lifting, and it was kind of crazy, man. To look back at that and be oh, they how unimpressive they actually are, right?
Yeah, because they were also mid-30s. They had been doing it for 15 years.
Yeah.
And had only got to this one level. And again, this is not to disparage anybody on their strength journey.
Right.
Everybody's got different genetics.
For sure.
But dudes were doing the same sets, reps, workout.
Well, yeah, every time.
And
every
this
time.
is not to be rude or anything, but almost to the level of autism.
Right.
On Mondays I do 15 sets of 10.
Right.
Or something like
right.
that.
Yeah. Well, part of the reason too that I'm throwing shade at these guys is because they also were egotistical jerks.
Oh yeah.
Because
they were the strongest dude in
at the
a weak
local
gym.
recreation center.
Yeah.
In a small town.
But on the flip side, there were some actual massively strong dudes there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they were the nicest people.
Mm-hmm.
And they would tell you what they thought.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they'd get a little bit I'm the oracle of truth, so
right.
listen to me. But honestly, at the time, they kind of were.
Yeah.
This is pre-internet, and they read the Arnold's Encyclopedia Bodybuilding or whatever it is, so they kind of did know.
Yeah.
But It's really just about how you present yourself.
For sure.
It's not about
Yeah.
strength. It's
Yeah.
but when you have both, it's a when you have both, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is.
It's a beautiful thing.
That's why I like, I like, there's so many people that I wished would have come over and trained here from there,
Yeah.
like, and people that I liked, that were like,
Sure.
it was super nice to talk to them and stuff. But like, once, this is like 10 years down the road after that, but it's like how much farther they could have gotten.
Oh man.
You know what I mean?
Well, there's a few that I'm thinking of, like back to the near autism thing. They freaked out when I like changed the floor plan in there to be better.
Yeah.
Because the dumbbell
Yeah.
wasn't in the same place or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
But like the amount of guys that, again, not to harp on this, but wouldn't touch their chest on bench press.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, well that's indicative of a problem, sir.
Right.
This is a normal range of motion for humans.
Yeah.
So like, let's take some weight off the bar. Let's address this. Like,
Yeah.
unless
But they also like didn't want any part of that.
No,
Like,
no.
because if they had to touch smaller weights to like do it right,
Right.
they're out.
Well, and-
the whole thing's ruined.
And if you're now on the flip side, there was a guy there who did tons of partial reps because he was a bodybuilder.
Right.
And he was the first person to really teach me that. He was
Yeah.
like, I also don't brag about how much I lift because I'm not doing it properly.
Right.
And this is, he, like, I won't mention him by names, but he's the type of character in my hometown that people just love him or hate him.
Right.
There's no in between because he was a no nonsense sort of guy.
Yeah.
But in terms of like our relationship, he and I, love the dude.
Yeah.
He taught me a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But the real problem with those like shortened ranges of motions, by the way, I want to mention this. One of the first times I had to spot that guy that we're talking about that didn't touch his chest. I mean, and we're talking about like, if he did a 4-board, he would be getting full range of motion for him.
Right.
A 4-board bench press.
Right.
So he goes for a new PR and it buries him to his chest. And he's like freaking out. He's like, why didn't you take it off me? And it was like, it didn't touch, like I didn't know when to the stop was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, because at the time you're not doing, like, it would be totally appropriate nowadays in our gym to do a pin press.
Right.
They just do pin press.
Yeah.
And if you try to treat these shoulders and they stay rickety and crap, fine. This is
Right.
this is your new normal. But have you exhausted all the other options?
Right. Yeah.
Have you done any rehab?
Yeah, I know.
Or do you warm up?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kind of
Because
crazy.
these guys, like, were younger at the time than I am now.
Right.
And I have not been that great to my body.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't have those kind of problems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's just the years and years of just reoccurringly doing that, and
Yeah.
never. It's crazy how it compounds, like into something like a bad problem.
Yeah. And if you have a shoulder problem going into a show, like, yeah, we're gonna have to put a Band-Aid on this until we can compete or whatever.
Right.
There was no show.
Yeah. There's no show coming. There never was.
There never was.
There never was.
All right, buddy, let's go train. This has been a lot of fun.
It was fun.
I don't even know if we talked about anything discernible. I don't know what we'll title this.
We did have a big man problem in there.
Yeah, we did. What did we call it? What number was it?
I don't think we ever said.
Let me look at the list real quick. This one was 138.
Nice.
Number 1.
Number 138. Move-in crew. Move it or lose it.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Move it or lose it.
Close this thing out, dude. Golly.
Okay.
No, just do it.
I got a little dejected and sad on the inside. I got tired in my soul a little bit. All right, guys, we love you. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz. We need your help growing our pod. Give us things to talk about. Top comment wins a prize.
Nice.
Don't
Nice.
do Barry Manilow.
Okay.
All right, we're out.
Bye.